मयं देवं निर्मलं स्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवम् उपास्महे। अथातः ज्वरचिकित्सितम् अध्यायं व्याख्यास्यामः इति हस्मः भगवान् अत्रेयः। In the previous session, we would try our best to understand the different concepts like Pauranika Itihasa of Jwara and word meaning of Jwara, its synonyms, and how the Jwara manifested for the first time in the universe we have seen. And we understood some pathological concepts also related with the Jwara and its Prabhava and involvement of doshas we have gone through. That is up to 50th verse of Charaka Samhita, starting from verse 1 we have covered, and in today's session we shall try to understand further starting from verse number 51. सप्ताहाद्वा दशाहाद्वा द्वादशाहात् तथैव च स प्रलाप भ्रम श्वास तीक्ष्णो हन्याज्वरो नरम. It's a very important explanation Granthakara is trying to give us, and he is guiding us in a beautiful manner. That is Saptahadva, Dashahadva, Dvadashaha Tathaiva cha. 7, 10, 12 days, either of these. Sa Pralapa Brahma Shwasa Tikshno Hanya Jwaronaram. If the individual is suffering with Jwara, which is running for 7 days, 10 days and 12 days, associated with these symptoms as a upadrava like pralapa, brahma, shwasa, etc., that kind of jwara will take away the life of an individual in a short period. This is what Granthakara said. But further, keeping interest over this, Chakrapani Acharya narrates about the hidden meaning of this. Why 7, 10 and 12 days have been mentioned in this? He says, Evam gunam eva paitikaha dashahat sa pralapa brahma tikshno hanti तथा एवं गुणोः एव कफजो द्वादशा हन्ति शीघ्रतमः शीघ्रतरः शीघ्रकारित्वात् वात पित्त कफानाम् इति वर्णयन्ति. Tara, Tama are the important words we come across with many times in the explanation of various concepts of Ayurveda at various treatises. For example, Tara and Tama, we have studied these two words as Dvandvaja and Sannipataja while understanding Jwara Nidana. That is, Dvidoshaja is called a Tara and Tridoshaja is called or is known as Tama. And while understanding about the concept of Viruddha, Sushruta narrates that Taratama Yoga Yuktanscha Bhavan Ati Snigdhan, Ati Ushnan, Ati Tikshnan, Evam Adini Vivarjayet. That is Tara and Tama Yoga Yukta. That is Swabhava, or the quality which is two step ahead or two folds or multifolds. If it is bifolded, then it is called a Tara. That means it is double the actual sense. It is called a Tara, and Tama is more than double. It can be triple, it can be quadruple, it can be pentuple, like that it may vary. So Tara and Tama, based on these terminologies, Chakrapani says that Shigratamaha, Shigratara, Shigra Vikara Karitvat, Vata Pitta Kafanam iti Varnayanti. What he says, where he is stressing out is Saptahadva, Dashahadva, Dvadashahas Tathaivacha. While addressing these days, number of days, he tries to explain with the Taratama Gunas that Vayu is Atyanta Shigrakari. Hence, in the pathology manifestation, the process of manifestation of pathology, Vayu is at the highest level. Hence, it is Shigratamaha. That is why in 7 days the Vayu becomes very potent, and if the Jwara is occurring because of Vayu and associated with these all the Upadrava like symptoms like Brahma, Shwasa, Tandra, etc., then that individual will die very soon. Why 7 days? Because Vayu is very, very Shigrakari. It is very fast enough to achieve its goal. Then compared to Vayu, Pitta is less in the velocity of the manifestation of pathology, or it takes a little time more than the Vayu. Hence, it is said at the second, that is Dashahadva. And for Kapha, it is Atyanta Nidana compared to Vayu, and compared to Pitta, it is still slower. Hence, it is said Dwadashahadva. So, 7, 10, 12 indicates for Vayu, Pitta, and Kapha for the manifestation or the causation of Vyadhi with Upadrava. Then that Adhyayana-Jwara naram, the person who is suffering with so and so disease with associated symptoms of sapralapa, brahma, shwasa, tikshnaha, Adhyayana-Jwara, they will die very soon. Jwaraha kshinasya shunasya gambhiro dairgharatrikaha asadhyo balavan yascha kesha simantaka jwaraha. Very important explanation Granthakara is giving in this particular verse, that Jwaraha kshinasya shunasya gambhiraha dairgharatrikaha. What he says is, the individual who is kshina by bala, the patient who is suffering with Jwara, if he is having bala hani, that is balakshaya, kshinaha, shunaha, because of vikrita dosha, dosha vaikara, if he has shotha, sarvanga shotha, shuna meaning is shotha, it is generalized swelling, shothaha, gambhiraha dairgharatrikaha. If it is running for a long duration, long number of days, then that type of Jwara is known as Asadhya-Jwara. It is Atyanta Klishta, it is involving the Gambhira Dhatus, hence it becomes Atyanta Klishta and it becomes Asadhya. Asadhyaha Balavan Yascha Kesha Simantaka Jwaraha. And another set of Jwara where if the Dhatus are involved and without any reason, if automatically Kesha Simanta is having combing and bifurcation of hairs into a passage where you can see the scalp, like how while combing we make a simanta over the head without reason, without any mechanical involvement, kesha automatically attains simanta, and that is called atyanta klishta jwara, and that may kill the individual very soon. These both the symptomatologies explained as, that is the kshina vyakti, dhatukshayita vyakti having shotha all over the body, and if it is involving gambhira dhatu and running for a long time, that individual will die soon, or it is asadhya in nature. And another one is that jwara where even the vyadhi is balavan, rogi is balahina, and if the jwara tends to cause kesha simanta, then that jwara is termed as asadhya. Acharya Vagbhata says that Bhruvorva yadiva murdhni simanta vartakan bahun apurvan akratan vyaktan drashtva marana madishet triham etena jivanti lakshanena turanaraha aroganam punastvetat shadratram paramuchyate. That he says that if the individual is having simanta without any reason, then that individual is supposed to die within 6 days. Shadratram paramuchyate. Sapta dina and 6 nights. That is how the calculation we do for a lodging or boarding. We say 4 days and 3 nights. The same way, Sapta aha is said. That aha is dina and ratri. Aho ratri. Vayo aho ratri bhuktanam te anta madhyadhiga kramat. What we have seen about the avastha of dosha in Ashtanga Hridaya, aha means day and ratri. If it is sapta aha, that means within 6 nights the person is going to end his life. That is what the Granthakara Vagbhatacharya says this. Sroto bhir visruta dosha guravo rasavahibhihi sarva dehanuga stabdha jwaram kurvanti santatam. Very beautiful verse that he is trying to explain about Vishama Jwara now. That Srotobhihi Visruta. Visruta Srotas is Purusho Ayam Srotomayaha. All over the body of an individual there are Srotas. Visruta Dosha Guravo Rasavahibihi. If Gurutara dosha means that dosha which is Vikrita by Nidana Sevana or other reason, such dosha when it obstructs or it is circulating all over the body, and if there is any sroto vikriti, sroto sanga, vaigunya ityadi, and if rasavahini are involved, sarvadehanugaha stabdha jwaram kurvanti santatam, there will be stabdhata, that is alasya, heaviness in the body, and that leads to utpatti of jwara. How jwara takes place in samprapti of jwara in nidanasthana, we have come to know that the nidana, when it is consumed by an individual, it enters into the amasha and it vitiates the doshas. That is fine. But this dosha, now what it does, while traveling, circulating, Vyanavata, when it is circulating all over the body, it just does not go alone. That Vyanavata is mixed with Rasadhatu, whatever the person is consuming the food, that is Amajahara. Now this Rasa with Vyana, while traveling, they carry the Ushma of Amashaya, or the Ushma present in the Amashaya. That means they both become warm. Vyanavayu and the Annarasa both tend to become warm because of Ushma of the Agni, Jataragni, and that Ushma is carried all over the body. That is how the body becomes Tapta. This is what we have understood in Jwara Samprapti in Nidanasthana. That is what he is taking here again, that he says, Sarvadehanugaha stabdha jwaram kurvanti santatam. There will be continuous running fever all over the body, and in that particular time the jwara is tivra, that is called santata jwara. There are different terminologies we will be coming across here after. We need to be very, very apt while understanding this. Dashaham Dvadashaham va Saptaham va Sudussaha Sa Shighram Shighrakarittvat Prashamam Yanti Hantiva. Then what happens? He is giving the appreciation or the weightage to the Santata Jwara. He says, whenever there is the Santata Jwara which is running for 7, 10, 12 days, keep in mind that all Vishama Jwara are not Ekadoshaja, they are always Tridoshaja. Vyapadeshastu bhoyasa, with that Nyaya or with that Tantra Yukti, what we can say is, we try to know particular vyadhi or particular type of jwara with vataja, kafaja, pittaja. No. In general, we need to understand the dosha pradhanyata, and we should not just keep uttering or addressing the pradhana dosha. Even the gauna dosha can also create trouble. Hence, in every vyadhi, we must be finding out, we must be searching out for the hidden doshas which are in alpa avastha. So in case of santata jwara, what happens? It becomes very shighra mrityukari. Why? Because when the vatadi dosha, according to their avastha, that shighra karitva, taratama guna, what we studied in the previous verse, that if 7, 10, 12 days, if the doshas are present, and if that particular, during that particular time, if the person is keeping langhana, if he is following the jwara charya, during jwara what the individual has to follow, what is supposed to be consumed, and how he should lead the life, that if he is following properly, and if the dosha paka is taking place and dosha shamana takes place, or dosha bala becomes alpa, then the individual will survive. If the person is continuing to consume the nidana, and if the doshas are with this 7, 10, 12 days, where based on the vata, pitta and kapha, then that dosha or that vyadhi, that type of jwara will take away the life of an individual. Shigrakaritvat prashamam yanti hantiva. He keeps both the possibilities where we need to understand the importance of pradhanata of doshas. Again, in the next verse, he continues and says that कालदूष्य प्रकृतिर भेदास तुल्यो ही संततम निष्प्रत्यनिकहा कुरुते तस्माद् ज्ञेयं सुदुस्सहः. What he says is that why santata jwara is dussaha. About that he is saying kala dushya prakritibhihi doshaha tulyaha hi santatam. Santata jwara always occurs during its suitable time. For example, if Vayu is creating trouble, or if the Vayu is involved with the Shigrakari Tama Guna, then this particular Vayu is creating Jwara in the individual, and it will be very, very dominant during its avastha. When Vayu is Pradhana, Vayu is Divasante, Gharmante, Ratrante. During these kala, because they are particularly Vata kala, the dosha become Utkata by Swabhava, and the Vega also becomes Utkata, hence that Jwara becomes Atyanta Tivra, that is Kashtadayaka. So same way for Pitta during Varsha Rutu, and for Kapha during Vasanta Rutu, for Pitta during Sharad Rutu, because of Rutu Prabhava, Madhyahana Kala, the Pitta, and Pratah Kala Kapha, during that season also, or during that time also, the dosha are naturally, Swabhavataha, they are at a peak level with their bala, hence the Vyadhi becomes Kashtatama. Yatha dhatuns tatha mutram purisham cha niladayah yugapachanupadyante niyamat santate jware. What he is saying is, this Santata Jwara is residing over 12 different types of vastu or dravya. What are they? Dhatus tatha mutram purisham cha aniladayah. Dhatavah rasadi sapta dhatavah mutram purisham dve malaha cha anila adayaha. Bahuvachana prayoga is there. Anila adayaha means vata, pitta and kapha. All three doshas, 7 dhatu, that is 10, and 2 mala, that is mutra and purisha. Yatha yugapacha anupadyante niyamat santate jware. They all tend to become vitiated and the vyadhi becomes dominant. Sashuddhya va api shuddhyat va rasadinam asheshatah saptahadishu kaleshu prashamam yati hantiva. Then how Santata Jwara becomes Maraka, or Santata Jwara becomes treatable in the condition, that he narrates and says that Sa Shuddhya, Sa is if these Tridosha, Dhatu and Mala, if they are getting purified, in the sense if the dosha bala is going down and if the dosha pachana takes place, that is amapachana, that means vikrita dosha turning towards the normalcy when it is attained, then va api ashuddhya, if it is attaining the normalcy, then the Santata Jwara becomes shamana, or it becomes pacified. If ashuddhya, if continues to tend to have vikriti in rasadinam asheshatah. Rasa adinam asheshatah, why did he say? Because in the previous verse, what he started? He started with yatha dhatustaha. That means he started with dhatu. That means sapta dhatu, starting from rasa to shukra, then mutram purisham, mutra and purisha, that is mala, and aniladaya doshadi. If they are in a vikrita avastha, then they will tend to create difficulty to that individual. Saptahadishu kaleshu prashamam yanti hantiva. If they are becoming shamana, then by 7 day the person becomes free from vyadhi. If they are not attaining, or if the tackling is not done properly, so that the vikriti is tackled, then by 7th day the person is going to die. That is what the Granthakara says. Further he says, यदा तु न अतिशुद्ध्यन्ति न वा शुद्ध्यन्ति सर्वशः द्वादशैते समुद्दिष्टा सन्ततस्याश्रयस्तदा विसर्गं द्वादशे कृत्वा दिवसे व्यक्तलक्षणं दुर्लभोपशमः कालं दीर्घम् अप्यनुवर्तते इति बुद्ध्वा ज्वरं वैद्य उपक्रामेत्तु सन्ततं क्रियाक्रमविधौ युक्तः प्रायः प्राक् अपतर्पणैः. What is the first line of treatment? He says प्राक् अपतर्पणैः प्रायः. Possibly in all this type of jwara, where all the 12 factors enlisted, that is dhatu, tridosha and dvemala, if we tend to adopt langhana chikitsa, prayaha prakapatarpanaihi, if we are giving langhana or langhana pachana chikitsa during this avastha, then the vyadhi may turn normal, in the sense vyadhi comes down. Otherwise, the vyadhi is going to emerge like anything and it will kill the individual within 12 days if the involvement of kapha dosha is there, within 10 days if the involvement of pitta dosha is there, and within 7 days if the involvement of vata dosha is seen. So beautiful explanation related with dosha pradhanata, dosha avastha, and involvement of dhatu causing Shanti of Jwara or Bhranti of Jwara, that is Maraka Sthiti of Jwara. Both are possible with the same entity. If person is having involvement of Dhatu, involvement of Mala and involvement of Dosha, definitely there. So when these all 12 factors are involved, if the person is following the Pathya Vibhaga, then definitely these will become the potency for his life. If the person is not following the Pathya and if he is continuing to have Nidana Sevana, then instantly the individual is going to die within the given particular days. Raktadhatva Shraya Prayo Dosha Satatakam Jwaram Sa Pratyanikaha Kurute Kala Vruddhi Kshayatmakam Ahoratre Satatako Do Kalanu Vartate. After explaining Santata Jwara, Granthakara is now explaining that what is Satata Jwara. We get lot of information with various articles, various journal publications, various textbooks are also available wherein it is explaining only 5 types of these Vishama Jwara. But what Chakrapani says, what Sushruta supports with the particular Vyakhyana and what Vagbhatacharya narrates for this, I have tried to compile and I tried to present in front of you. Let us see how Granthakara mentions this. Satatakam dhatva rakta dhatva shrayaha prayaha. Satata jwara is possibly rakta dhatu ashrita jwara. That means it is having which dosha pradhanyata? This satata jwara is pitta pradhana tridoshaja, or pitta is seen as the dominant, and many times we get confused that it is only pitta jwara, so we try to prescribe so many pitta shamaka dravyas, but we forget the involvement of vayu and kapha with that particular stage. Prayo grahanat satatako rakta vyatiriktam mausadi dhatum api ashrayataha iti darshate. What Chakrapani gives explanation for this particular verse, the first verse of Satata Jwara is Prayaha doshaha. He meant the Mula Shloka says that Prayaha doshaha means possibly Satata Jwara involves Pitta dosha. That means it is not for sure, no. When it is saying, when we are saying 50-50, like possibly it is there, that means there can be an impossibility of this also. So that clarification Chakrapani is giving, and he says Prayaha Rakta Dhatu Ashrayaha. Possibly Pitta dosha is Rakta Dhatu Ashrita, or the Satata Jwara where Pitta Pradhana Anya Dvidosha, that is Pitta Pradhana Tridoshaja Satata Namaka Jwara possibly is having its lodging in Rakta Dhatu. But we cannot forget the other Dhatu where Mausa Adi Dhatum Api Ashrayaha इति दर्शयति. स प्रत्यनिकः इति कालादिषु मध्ये अन्यतमः प्रत्यनिकः. What he is saying here is when it is rakta dhatva shrita jwara, if it is kapha pitta pradhana, then in madhyana kala and in the madhyaratri where pitta avastha is swabhavatah prakupita, during that particular time the vega is seen. That is why he said that Satatako dvau kalaha anuvartate. It is seen twice a day in Satataka Jwara. In Santata it is continuously seen. In Satataka it is seen twice a day. One after the other in Vishama Jwara, the duration and the Vega Kala keeps reducing from continuous to twice a day, then once in a day, or 1 day gap and 1 day, 2 days gap, and Jwara is seen. Like that the explanation goes on. Further what he says, Sapratyanikaha kurute kala vruddhi kshayatmakaha. If Pittacha Kala is there, then during Pitta Kala Jwara Tivrata is seen. If Vataja Kala is there, during Vata Kala, then the Jwara is seen. But because the Rakta Dhatu is involved, though the Vata is also a culprit for creating Satataka Jwara, but still compared to Pitta, Vayu is less potent, less dominant. Instead of calling potent, it is less dominant. Hence, Lakshana are seen more. That is, Jwara Vega is seen more during Pitta Pradhana Kala. Hence, it is called Rakta Dhatvashritaha. Kala Prakriti Dushyanam Prapyevanyatamadvalam Anyedhyushkam Jwaram Dosho Rudhva Medavaha Siraha. What he further narrates about Adhyayana-Jwara is Kala Prakriti Dushyanam Prapya Eva Anyatamad Balam. Anyatamaha Prapya Balam. What beautifully he is narrating about Adhyayana-Jwara, where Kala is Avastha, Dosha Kala. Prakriti is Karana, Swabhava, by what reason the Jwara is occurring or the Dosha Vikriti is taking. For example, if I am consuming continuously Shita Ahara, Madhuratara Ahara and Gurutara Ahara and not having enough activity or allowing the Agni to have digestion of all this, then what dosha I am going to have? The Prakopa, I am definitely going to have the Prakopa of Kapha dosha. So it may become Kapha Pradhana, but involvement of Pitta cannot be forgotten. Together they tend to create Vyadhi. Kala, Prakriti, Dushya, involvement of Dushya. In Adhyayana-Jwara, there can be involvement of Kafadi Lakshana, Kafadi Dosha. Hence, the Adhyayana-Jwara will lead to involvement of Prayaha Adhyayana-Jwaram Jwaram Dosha Rudhva Medavaha Siraha. Medavaha Srotas are getting involved in this particular thing and they tend to create Meda Dushti, and Adhyayana-Jwara is seen once in a day, one time the Jwara is seen. Sab Pratyanikoho Janayet Ekakalam Aharnishi. Throughout the day and night, within 24 hours, one time the Jwara is seen. That is because of the involvement of Meda Dhatu. Then further, Tritiyaka and Chaturthaka are being explained. Dosho Asti Majjaha. Asti Majjagaha Kurya Tritiyaka Chaturthakau. If it is Tritiyaka, then the Dhatu involved is Asti. And in case of Chaturthaka Jwara, the Dhatu involved is Majja Dhatu. And this is how the Jwara comes. And in Tritiyaka Jwara, one day, today if the Jwara comes, tomorrow the Jwara is absent, then again day after tomorrow Jwara is seen. That is Tritiyaka. And in Chaturthaka Jwara, if today Jwara is seen, 2 days there will be gap, and the 4th day again the Jwara is seen. When the Jwara is seen for the second time during the causation of Vyadhi, based on that the Tritiyaka and Chaturthaka are explained. Tritiyaka means today I have Jwara, tomorrow I will not have, that is on second day I don't have fever, third day I am getting, hence it is Tritiyaka. Today I have fever, tomorrow and day after tomorrow I am not having fever, and again on 4th day if I am getting fever, that becomes the 4th day, hence it is called Chaturtha Karoti iti Chaturthakaha. So that is Tritiyaka and Chaturthaka type of Jwara. Then further he says Gatihi eko anantaranyedhyuh doshasya uktanyatha paraihi Adhyayana-Jwara Jwaram kuryat api samshritya shonitam. What he says in the further verse that in Vishama Jwara, the Gati of dosha are having different type of understanding. Sometimes if the dosha Gati is 1 day, if the dosha Gati is of 2 days, then if the dosha Gati is every day, then based on that the Vyadhi is named like Adhyayana-Jwara, Tritiyaka and Chaturthaka. So there the nomenclature of disease is based on the importance and the presence of doshas. That's what he says. But some other acharyas like Sushruta, he says that Medogata dosha, because the Meda is involved, it is called Tritiyaka, and Asti Majjagata dosha, if it is there, then it is called Chaturthaka dosha. He says Santata Jwara is Rasadhatugata, Satata Jwara is Rakta Dhatugata, and Adhyayana-Jwara is Rakta and Mamsa Ashrita, where Tritiyaka is Meda Dhatugata and Asti Majjagata is Chaturthaka. There is a little difference of opinion between Sushruta Acharya and Charaka Acharya, in fact Agnivesha Acharya, where Agnivesha Acharya said Asti Dhatugata Jwara is Tritiyaka and Majja Dhatugata Jwara is Chaturthaka, but Sushruta Acharya says Asti Majja Dhatugata Jwara is Chaturthaka, where Medo Dhatugata Jwara is called Tritiyaka and Rakta Mamsa Dhatu Ashrita Jwara is Adhyayana-Jwara. That is what the difference of opinion present in these two acharyas. But Gangadhara, while Acharya Gangadhara, while commenting in Jalpa Kalpataru over this particular concept or a particular context. He says there is a word in 66th verse, Saushritaha medaso margam doshaha cha api chaturthakam. He says he has used in the Mula Shloka, there is a use of a word called doshaha cha api. What we have understood yesterday, wherever in the sutra, if cha, apitu, kanichit, yanichit, yavat, tavat, such words, if they come, then we need to apply Atidesha Tantra Yukti. That Acharya Gangadhara uses, and he says, Doshaha cha api chaturtakam, where chakara is used. So in chaturtaka, not only not only majja dhatu, even asti dhatu involvement is also to be considered. Why this is? Why such explanation we need to take? See, when the dosha is involving asti dhatu, that means the asti dhatu vikriti is taking from the previous Poshakamsha, that is Meda Dhatu. When Meda is getting hampered or Vikrita, that means Mamsa must be. When Mamsa is getting hampered, that means Rakta and Rasa must be. Hence, Cha, by the word Doshaha Cha Api Chaturthakam, that Cha and Api, they tend to tell us the involvement of Rasa as well as Rakta Dhatu, about involvement of these two in the manifestation of disease. Further, important simile or drishtanta has been given that adhishite yatha bhumim bijam kale cha rohati adhishite tatha dhatum doshah kale cha kupyati savruddhim balakalam cha prapya doshas tritiyakam chaturtakam cha kurute pratyanika balakshayat. Here two important concepts or two important things we need to be addressing towards understanding of this particular simile. What he says, adhishite yatha bhumim bijam kalecha rohati. For example, while working in a farmland, what we do, we see the sky or we see the climate and think that when possibly the Jwara is going to occur, and based on that, what we do, we prepare the land and we keep the soils, we keep the seeds in the soil. But instantly while keeping the seed, there will not be utpatti of sasya. For what does it wait? It will wait for water, that is in the form of rain. It will wait for atapa, that is sunlight, and it will wait for its suitable time. When the suitable time is seen, at that time the bija starts producing ankura, and that is how the utpatti of plant is seen. Similarly, even in the deha, dosha are like the same. They are like seed. Deha is bhumi desha and doshas are seeds. Whenever the suitable time comes, when we consume nidana sevana or when the climate is changing, when these things are coming which are suitable with the quality of that of dosha, then dosha starts producing vyadhi. Adhishite tata dhatum doshaha kale cha kupyati. At the particular time, the dosha will definitely become prakupita and it will create difficult task in the management of the fever. Then further he says, savruddham balakalam cha prapya doshas tritiyakam. Savruddham balakalam cha prapya doshas tritiyakam. When based on the bala and kala, it is called Tritiyaka-Jwara. If the bala is more of dosha, and that is why it is occurring on every third day, then it is a Tritiyaka. If the bala is less and if it is occurring on every fourth day, then that is called Chaturthakam. Chaturthakam cha kurute pratyanika balakshayat. If the bala is more, that is rogi bala is more, and if he is confident enough and if he is following the modalities to manage Nidana Sevana, or if he is quitting himself from Nidana Sevana and trying to become free from diseases, then dosha becomes low, that is Pratyanika Balam, and person becomes free from disease. If not, then Swabhavataha, these dosha will tend to create trouble, and all dhatus, when they are involved, they will tend to take away the life of an individual. That is what Granthakara said. In this particular explanation, Sushrutacharya says that Kafasthana Vibhagena Yatha Sankhyam Karoti hi Ahoratrat Sthanat Sthanam Prapadyate Tatascha Amashayam Prapya Doshaha Kuryujwaram Dranam. That means what Sushrutacharya gives clarification is the dosha are sitting in the all over the body. Now these dosha, they are all circulating from in the form of in the srotas with the help of Vyanadit dosha. While they are circulating, they will have to come to Amashaya. Now the quality or the quantity of dosha is so alpa that it will take the one full day, that is 24 hours, to circulate all over the body and come back to the amasha, and from there the dosha has to pick the ushma and go back and create the fever. That is why it takes one full day, that is on every third day the jwara is seen, that is called a tritiyaka. And in chaturthaka, doshas are still important or they are still weaker and they keep circulating, they take 2 days of time for the dosha to come to the amasha and take the ushma and go out. Bahir nirasya koshtagni. That koshtagni is taken out and it is seen as fever in on 4th day. Hence it is called chaturthaka. That is what the Granthakara, that is Sushrutacharya says. While commenting on this, while commenting on the Sushruta's Vakya about this, Madhukoshkara, that is Madhava, Acharya Madhava, says that asya ayam arthaha आमाशय कंठशिरस्संधयः पंचकफस्थानानि येषु स्थितैः दोषैः यथा संख्यम सततादयाः क्रियन्ते. How the dosha are present based on their particular sthana. How many, what are the things where kapha dosha is residing? Amashaya, Kantha, Shiras, Sandhi and Panchakafasthana. These are the 5 sthanas of kapha. Now dosha is present all over this. When it is circulating from all over this, it will take the ushma from Amashaya and creates Jwara. That is what Madhukoshkara says about the importance of Pratyanika Bala while explaining the Vishamajwara. Kritva Vegam Gatabalaha Sve Sve Sthane Vyavasthitaha Punar Vivruddha Sve Kale Jwarayanti Naram Malaha. Dosh is always present in the body. Whenever the dosha are present in the body, either in the form of Vikrata Avastha or Prakrata Avastha, they must always be circulating. They always should be circulating. If the dosha are stagnant at anywhere in the body, there, yatra sangakha vaigunya vyadhis tatropajayate. If the dosha stop its circulation and they are stagnant at particular area, there they tend to create vyadhi. Kratva vegam gatabalaha sve sve sthane vyavasthitaha. They are sitting quiet at their particular sthana, and when the samaya comes, punar vivruddha sve kale, when the suitable time comes, if the person is consuming rukshahar, if the person is attempting for ati vyayama, ati vyavaya and ratri jagarana, what happens? From all of this, vayu prakopa takes place, and next day at the time of vata, that is in the evening, he will present with fever. From morning I was very fine, evening suddenly I had a fever. That means what? Dosha were getting vitiated because of the Vatavarana ahara of previous days, and yesterday, that is on the previous day of dosha complete Vikriti, the person had consumed Ruksha ahara, he did Vyayama, he had Ati Vyavaya and he did Ratri Jagarana. All Nidana are in favor with Vata dosha, and Vata suddenly becomes aggravated and it creates the Gambhira Avastha, Jwarayanti Naram Malaha. Due to this, the Vega, the Jwara Vega is seen. Further, he says, Kapha Pitta Trikagrahi Prushtad Vata Kafatmakaha Vata Pitta Shirograhi Trividhasya Tritiyakaha. This particular Tritiyaka Jwara is of 3 types again. Kapha Pitta Trikagrahi. In case if the Tritiyaka Jwara is involving Kapha and Pitta dosha, then what it creates? It creates Trikagraha. That is in the pelvic area there will be graha. Stiffness is seen in the pelvic joints. Then prashtad vata kafatmakaha, in the whole spine the back pain is seen in case if the involvement of vata and kapha. And vata pitta shirograhi, if vata pitta are involved then there will be shiroruja or shirograha. Trividhaha syat tritiyakaha. So this is of three types of tritiyaka. Then further he says chaturthaka is of two types. Chaturthako darshayati prabhavam dvividham jwaraha jangabhyam shleshmikaha purvam shirasastaha anila sambhavaha. In case of chaturthaka jwara, it will be seen in the form of two. One is jangabhyam shleshmikaha. If the kapha pradhanata is seen, then there will be shula in the janga pradesha. Janga is about thighs and the lower extremity. Janga we can consider grossly. And if in case if it is of vata pradhana, then there will be shiroruja, because prano atra murdagaha. Sthana of vayu is prana also. Hence this particular chaturthaka jwara causes two, it is seen of two different types. Further he says vishamajwara evan अन्यश्चतुर्थक विपर्ययः त्रिविधो धातुरेकैको द्विधातुस्तु करोति यम. He says chaturthaka viparya jwara and santatadi jwara viparya. What he says, vishamajwara evani eva eva anyas chaturthaka viparyayah. He says these are the five set of diseases, that is such as santata, satata, annedyushka, tritiyaka and chaturthaka. Among these five different categorical explanation of Vishamajwara, if the Vata, Pitta and Kapha are having separate entities, separately, Trividho dhatu ekaiko dvidhatustu karotitam karotiyam. What he says is, if Tridosha are having a separate existence, in case of Asti and Majja, if these two dhatu are, Dvidhatu is Asti and Majja, because Chaturthaka is having involvement of Asti and Majja dhatu. In case of Chaturthaka, where Asti Majja dhatu are involved, in that dhatus, if the ashraya of these doshas takes place, then that is called Chaturthaka. If in case in Asti and Majja dhatu, if the dosha is ashrita but it is balahina, then it is called Chaturthaka Viparyaya-Jwara. That means the Jwara is seen on 2 days continuously, the Jwara is seen. Fourth day, then one day there will not be Jwara. That is, first day there is no Jwara, 2 days there is continuous Jwara, again on the fourth day there is no Jwara. Whenever in Chaturthaka Jwara, the Jwara is seen on first day and fourth day, in between 2 days the fever is not seen. But in Chaturthaka Viparyaya, first day and the fourth day there will not be fever. In between 2 days there will be high grade fever. That is called Chaturthaka Viparyaya. We need to apply Tantra Yukti here, and we need to apply, by applying Tantra Yukti we need to understand Viparyaya of Tritiyaka. What is Viparyaya of Tritiyaka? First day Jwara is there, third day Jwara is there. In between, second day there is Jwara absent. In Tritiyaka Viparyaya, second day there will be Jwara seen, and first day and third day the person is free from Jwara. Same way for Viparyaya Nedhyushka, Viparyaya Satataka, Viparyaya Santataka. All can be understood. And with that explanation, we need to understand that they are Viparyaya Vishamajwara. If it is first day and fourth day absence of Jwara, and in between 2 days if the Jwara is seen, then it is definitely Viparyaya Jwara. Because it is present continuously 2 days and the first day, fourth day the Jwara is not seen, hence it is Chaturthaka Viparyaya Jwara. Instead, if it was Chaturthaka, then the Jwara should be seen on first day and fourth day. But we are seeing Jwara on other 2 days of Chaturthaka, hence it is called Chaturthaka Viparyaya Jwara. So it is a Vishama Jwara, but Viparyaya Vishama Jwara can be the other nomenclature which can be considered here. प्रायशः सन्निपातेन दृष्टः पंचविधो ज्वरः सन्निपाते तु यो भूयान् सदोषः परिकीर्तितः. Vishamajwara is always sannipatika. We generally try to understand, or we think that when Satata Jwara is there, because it is Rakta Dhatva Ashrita, there will be Pitta Pradhana, Madhyana Kala the Jwara is seen, so it is only Pitta Jwara. No, it is never such. All Vishama Jwara, starting from Satata Jwara to Chaturtaka Jwara, Santata Jwara to Chaturtaka Jwara, all 5 Vishama Jwaras, they are Sannipatika in nature. Sannipatika means all 3 doshas are involved with their Swanidana, and they are just there is a hierarchy maintained between all 3 doshas. The dosha which is pradhana, which is dominant, that is seen as ekadoshaja, but they are, in fact, they are not ekadoshaja, they are always sannipatika jwara. That is explained in this particular verse. Rutvahora ratra doshanam manasascha balabalat kalam ardhavashashchaiva jwarastam tam prapadyate. Jwara utpatti takes place because of rutu, aha, that is day, ratri, and these 3 factors in respect with dosha. Which dosha is pradhana in which rutu? Vayu is having its prakupita avastha in Varsha Rutu. Pitta is having prakupita avastha in Sharad Rutu. And Kapha has its prakupita avastha in Vasanta Rutu. So, dosha with their kala. Then dosha with dina, in daytime, in what particular yama the dosha is pradhana. Early morning it is Kapha, Madhyana it is Pitta, and night it is, in the evening it is Vayu. So based on aha, based on ratri again, Kapha, Pitta, Vayu again. So like this, the dosha and their particular time, the Vyadhi is more prominent. Manasascha balabalat. Manas is also having importance. If the person is continuously thinking negative, then that negativity, shoka and bhaya, will lead to prakopa of Vayu. Kama shoka bhayad Vayu, Kama shoka bhayad Vayu, krodhat pittam trayo malaha. When the person is doing kama, when the person is doing shoka, when the person is suffering with bhaya, there will be prakopa of Vayu. And when the person is very krodhita, that is angry, then the prakopa of pitta takes place. So same way, based on manasika avastha also, balabalat kalam artha vashashchaiva, they are also dependent on artha vasha. Kala artha means purva janma krita karma. If the purva janma krita karma is vyadhikaraka, that means he has done a bad deed, someone was killed by him, or someone's wealth was stolen by him, that vikriti or the purva janma krita karma is going to create trouble in the particular avastha. For example, if someone is killing the other person, it is kraurya. It is kraurya, krurata. Krurata is seen because of pitta only. Why? Because kama shoka bhaya leads to vayu. Shoka leads to vayu. But krodha, if someone is being killed by the other person, that means he must be krodhita to that level where the krodha is leading to kill or to take away the life of an individual. That means the pitta is more aggravated. Purva janma he has killed someone, that means it is the pitta prakopa. Now in the present day, because of pitta prakopa, purva janma karma is getting related and he is getting fever. That is what is explained. Jwarastam tam prapadyate. So this is how the Vishama Jwara concept has been narrated in this particular chapter. So we shall hold on to this context in the present class, and in next class we will see further. Any questions can be dropped in the comment box, that will be addressed in a question answer session, which will be taken exclusively for addressing the Jwara. It is very much known to everyone that the Jwara Chikitsitam is very tedious chapter. It's a very big chapter, and lot many complications can be, or the hurdles while reading Jwara Chikitsa is definitely experienced by everyone. But don't lose hopes. We are trying, or I am trying my best to gather the information and trying to simplify to my best possible. So stay tuned to Tadvidya Sambhasha Parishat YouTube channel for more updates, and daily we are playing with live streaming about one particular yoga every day by eminent personalities and faculties of all over the India who are attached with Tadvidya Sambhasha Parishat organization. So stay tuned and keep your notifications on for all the updates of Tadvidya Sambhasha Parishat. Thank you one and all.